Okay guys, let's take care of this linkage arm, part number 7. This one should be pretty quick, but once you assemble it, if you didn't do something correct on the train, then this is not going to fit. So, let's go ahead and let's give this a shot. Again, make sure your assembly is activated up here, miniature train. Then you're going to go to assemble, new component. Let's call this linkage arm. Okay. And again, let's make this off somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Not too far off, but maybe below it is fine. Alright, so if you look at this shape, we got two holes, two circles. So there's a lot of ways we can do this. I'm trying to think of the simplest way. So I'm going to start with just two circles. Circle, and then if you hover over the circle that I drew on the left and you kind of like move to the right, you'll see this dashed line. That constrains it so that it's on the same horizontal plane. That's kind of helpful. Oops, I noticed I'm drawing over or under behind my graphic there. Sorry. So let's look at the drawing and notice that the distance between these center points of these holes is 3.5 inches. So let's add that dimension right away by clicking on the two center points. Look at how close I was. That's pretty good. 3.5 inches. Okay. Now let's look at the diameter of the very, very largest circle here. And you'll notice it says R, which is radius. And we're pretty good now. We know the difference between radius and diameter. And I know, and you know, that when I click on this circle, it's going to be asking me for a diameter. And my drawing is telling me a radius. So you guys should all know that when I type in 0.18875, that because I'm drawing a circle, I need to type in times 2. Because I'm drawing a circle, right? So 0.1875 times 2. So I'm doing it for both of these. I'm doing it for both of them because in the drawing it says TYP, which means typical. So I can assume that the other one is typically the same as this one. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to draw a line from one center point of one circle to the other, just to make sure they're horizontal. And if they're not, like if you're following right now and you realize that they're not, or this line is not horizontal, you might want to go up to constraints and click on the horizontal button, this one right here, and just touch this line. It'll tell you it's already constrained if it isn't, but I went ahead and I just clicked it. You'll see, actually you won't see because my window's in the way, but I'll move it. It says constraint has already been applied to the selected sketch. So if you see this, you're good. It's already horizontal. So I'm going to move that back. All right, so we're good. I've got two 375 circles that are 3.5 inches apart. So now I'm ready to rock and roll. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so now this little, the distance between these two lines are 0.25, as you can kind of see. I can zoom in a little more on that. Get easier for you guys. Oh, that's too much. Whatever. You guys have good eyes. All right, so what I want to do is I want to create a line above. Now notice how I'm just making sure that I go through the circle. I don't care how far through the circle because I'm going to end up trimming it. But just go through the circle. Press escape. I'm going to draw another line, start somewhere inside the circle, and draw horizontally. Notice how it says 0 degrees as I'm drawing. And then I'm just going to continue through the circle. As long as I go through it, I'm fine. Then I'm going to create a dimension, and make sure you dimension from the center line to the bottom, half of 0.25, because I'm only doing half at a time. So 0.25 divided by 2, and then from the center to the top line should be the same. 0.25 divided by 2. So there we go. I guess to be not sloppy, we should trim, using the little scissors, all the little extra lines on the inside of the circle, but I don't think Fusion cares. I think it would still extrude this, but we're gonna be, oops, look at that. I accidentally trimmed my circle. Undo, my bad. Trim, not the circle. I'm so dumb. All right, there we go. That's better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish my sketch, and now I'm going to extrude this entire shape to the thickness, which is right here, 1/8 of an inch, 0.125. All right, so I'm going to tilt my screen a little bit so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. And then I'm going to extrude all of these regions or shapes, whatever you want to call them, to be 0.125. Last operation is going to be to put the 2 holes at the center of here. So make a sketch, drop 2 center points. Remember, center points are under the Create menu. I think you should, be able to find the center of that circle. So just drop it and drop it. Finish sketch, and then create a hole. Where's my hole? There it is. Pick those 2 center points. Wow, those are way too big. But I can change the diameter right here. It says in the drawing they are 0.128 through. The word through means it goes all the way through. So 0.128. And then if you look at the distance, you can tell it to go all the way through. And then hit OK. So there we go. We have our linkage arm. Beautiful. Let's hit save. Let's close our joints folder. Let's activate our assembly. Now here's where it can get fun or frustrating, one or the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble. I'm going to actually close my drawing real quick. Where are we here? Where's my drawing? Media source? No, that's not it. Image. Nope, wrong one. There it is. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to assemble this onto these little pegs that come off the wheel. So here's how I'm going to do it. Assemble, joint, capture position, as we always do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to motion, make sure it's revolute. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, watch what I do. I'm going to twist it around, and you can obviously left click, hold, and twist by using this. But I'm going to pick this hole, but then this grip. When I say grip, I'm talking about that little circle there, right there. And I want that to lock and rotate around that. Notice how I'm picking that. See it? That's good. I like that. I'm going to say OK. Now if I back out, look at what I'm able to do. I'm able to spin and rotate that linkage arm. But now I want to add another joint. I want to connect the other end to here. So let's twist my model. There we go. Let's go to Assemble, Joint, Capture Position. Going nice and close. Now again, that joint, that origin. Now here's the kicker. If this doesn't work, this means my dimensions are wrong. So here, how embarrassing would that be? Oh, it works! So I'm going to say OK. And now you'll see my linkage connects from wheel to wheel. If you get an error, okay, at this point, if you get an error, that means that something is wrong with your wheel. Maybe, let me look at it from the left side, maybe the distance between when you designed your wheel, between the center of the wheel and where your hub is, that could be wrong. When you designed the linkage arm, the distance between the center of the holes could be wrong. But ultimately, you should be able to grab your linkage arm and you should be able to move the wheel just like this. Okay? That's what you want to see. All right? Everything has to be exactly correct in order for that to work. And wow, I'll be honest, I was sweating a little bit because if mine didn't work, that'd be really embarrassing if the demonstration video didn't work, right? Wow. All right, so I'm going to right click on linkage arm and I'm going to copy. No, that's not what I want to do. No, this copy, not this copy. This copy. Trust me, they're different. I don't know why, but they are different. So right-click copy, make sure your assembly is activated, and then right-click paste. There it is. Capture position, and now we have a second wonderful, actually I'm going to slide it over to that side, a second wonderful linkage arm that I can relatively quickly assemble because I know it's going to fit. Joint, that, to that, and then lastly, make a joint. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Joint between that and, come on, that. Okay. So now, everything on both sides should spin independently from each other, which we can get them to drive together. We'll get there, one step at a time, one chug at a time. There we go. Hit save, and you guys are almost there. We still got, there's a little peg that has to go in here to keep this from falling out. And there's a cow catcher in the front. Yeah, a couple other things, but we're almost there, guys. All right, thanks for watching.